Hello, everybody, and welcome to Myth Busting YouTube Part 2. I am Kyle Williamson, aka Captain Kyle, with the Fandom Spotlight channel, and I'd like to thank Wizard World for allowing me to give this panel to you guys to let you know a little bit more about YouTube and how to succeed. Definitely visit them at wizardworld.com. Check out their up-and-coming nostalgia and sci-fi panels. I believe they already finished the horror series, but you want to check out the nostalgia and sci-fi series of panels on wizardworld.com. And you'll also want to check out their merchandise at wizardworldvault.com. But all right, let's get into YouTube. So I am going to actually share a little presentation I created for this. So hopefully everyone will see the Myth Busting YouTube Part 2 screen. And feel free in the chat to ask questions. They will be fed over to me, so definitely let me know if you have any questions as we go along. And we'll answer whatever we can. And it'll be fun, hopefully, and hopefully you'll learn something. But, all right, so a little bit about me, if you missed our last one. I run two active YouTube channels, and one of them is Fandom Spotlight, and the other one is Toy Spotlight. I've been active on YouTube regularly. Before then, I dabbled for about 6 years, and I've had videos that have been cited by different news channels and other channels, including Newsweek. And on my main channel, Fandom Spotlight, I have over 37,000 views. Now, some people are like, yeah, but I want to get 37,000 subs. I want to get 1 million subs. So why am I not talking to someone who's got 1 million subs? Well, the problem with most people who have 1 million subs is it's been so long since they started that YouTube has changed in the meantime. So they actually don't necessarily know what it takes to get to 1 million subs now. What worked then doesn't necessarily work now. And we're going to bust some of the myths that people have about things on YouTube. But we've been building up our channel for about 6 years. Our secondary channel is about to be monetized. And we've been through the struggle. We've been in the trenches. We know what works. And so let's go over some of the things that people say about YouTube that isn't necessarily true. One, and this is the second of 6, so watch our last week's as well. But one of the things that people think about YouTube is that clickbait will make you successful. And I think what we need to do is talk about what clickbait actually is, because I'm rating this as semi-true. Because if you think clickbait is an exciting title and a thumbnail, then yes, that will draw in more viewers, that'll draw in more people. However, if it is misleading, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose subscribers. You're going to kill your watch time. That is why they used to have it where views were very important for monetization. Now they have it for watch time. Because if you have a thumbnail and a title that has nothing to do with your video and people are tricked into clicking on it, people are going to click away very quickly. So if that is the case, you're not going to get a lot of watch time. They're not going to monetize you. You want to make sure that, yes, if you want clickbait to mean exciting, yes, you should be baiting those clicks by having an exciting thumbnail, an exciting title, even an exciting few lines of your description. But you don't want to mislead the viewer. You don't want to have something with and I've seen these before, a bikini-clad woman and, like, how? And then something about, what hot people think or, how to get hot people. And then you get into it and it's actually has nothing to do with that. You don't want that type of reputation. Your titles and your thumbnails must relate to the video content. So I'm not saying that you can't highlight an exciting frame from your video or highlight an exciting person. If you interviewed a number of people in your video and one of them is a very attractive or popular person, and you want to feature them on the thumbnail, that's great. But they're in the video, so it makes sense. And I'm not saying try to get around it by featuring them in the video for like 3 seconds so you can use them on the thumbnail. If it doesn't have to do with the majority of your video content, don't use it as a thumbnail. Basically, the thumbnail and the title are a promise of what you are giving to the audience. And so you have to fulfill that promise. You have to actually, come through. If someone is expecting a video on how to make extra money and they get into it and it's not having to do with that, or it's really not what they're looking for, you're breaking your promise. So make sure that if you use clickbait, is usually referred to as misleading by most people. So never mislead with what you're promising. Okay, so enough about that rant. Let's go on to number 2. One of the other myths about YouTube is you need to publish a new video every day. And I'm rating this as false. If you can, it's not bad to publish a new video every day. But a lot of channels don't. They can't. My channels, I can't actually put out a new video every single day. There have been some situations where I've gotten a bunch of videos and have actually managed to do it for a period of time, but it's very difficult to sustain. You don't have to publish a new video every day. Now, a lot of places recommend once a week. That's a good thing. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of something here. A lot of people say release your videos on a schedule. And that can be helpful if everyone knows that on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., you're going to be releasing your next video. Some people might look forward to that, but even that is not necessary. It's not a bad practice, but it's not necessary. Currently, my secondary channel, I haven't been able to pay as much attention to it. And it is still growing. It is still getting decent views. And I haven't put up a new video in weeks. Trust me, I'm going to fix that. I have another video in the works, but it is not necessary to do it even once a week. But on the other hand, with my secondary channel, if I had been able to do once a week or twice a week on that channel, then it might have grown more quickly. So it's not bad to put out more videos. However, there's channels like they do animation, stop motion videos. They can't put out a video every day, but they still grow, even if they put out, once a month, because they put out quality stuff. Quality is better than quantity. Putting out a quality video every week is better than putting out 7 that no one's going to watch because there's no good quality in it. They're rushed videos. There's lots of pauses. They're just low. There's not a lot of thought put into them. They're not well organized. If you're rushing to put out a video every day and the quality is suffering for it, then it's not going to do as well as putting out a quality video once a week. All right. Another YouTube myth. And if you do have questions, please put those in the chat. And we do have the amazing Jerry Milani who's going to pass those questions on to me. And if not, that's fine. Just sit back and absorb. But another myth is that YouTube shows favoritism to certain new channels. You see a new channel pop up and suddenly it's got a lot of views. It's got a lot of subscribers, and you're thinking, oh man, they worked out some deal with YouTube, or YouTube has some special interest in them. It's actually, I have to say, false. They do not actually show favoritism to brand new channels. It would be interesting to be on their favorite channel list, but no, what they do is they show favoritism to popular topics or people who market their channels and videos well, and those videos that get a lot of watch time. So if, say there's a trending topic on I don't know, migrating tree frogs. Suddenly everyone's interested in migrating tree frogs. And you put out a video about migrating tree frogs that is informative, it's engaging, you put it out, a few people watch it, they like it, they comment on it. YouTube says, okay, we like this, we're going to show it to some more people. They look at it, they like it. YouTube says, hey, this is a good video, we're going to show it to more people, and it just expands that way. But you can't necessarily get that. There's no back alley deals with YouTube. So timing can work in the favor of new channels. If you're doing something that's timely, then you can do it. There's also the fact that a lot of people who say that YouTube shows favoritism to these channels, it's not that they're actually showing favoritism. It's actually that the people who are complaining about this, they don't like to say, oh, my videos stink. My videos, no one's watching them, or I'm not marketing them properly. They would rather make an excuse and say that YouTube is showing favoritism. YouTube doesn't care about showing favoritism. They don't pick out some out of a hat, some new YouTuber and say, oh, this person's, I think that we should just throw them a bone and promote them on the front page. They don't do that. There are millions of channels. How would they even choose? It's more likely that your videos are not as good as you think they are. And if you've been working for a while and you're not seeing increases in views per video, if you're not seeing a lot of subscribers come in, more than likely the problem is with either your marketing, your quality, or both. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now, there are those who start channels and they're a celebrity or they have a large existing following on Twitter or Instagram or Twitch or TikTok, and then they start a YouTube channel and they grow quickly. Well, they already are established somewhere. And, you know, celebrities can get a lot more attention because they are celebrities. But let's take a look at a couple celebrity examples. So in these case studies, Josh Gad, he is the voice of Olaf. He started a little over a year ago, a channel on YouTube. He now has 345,000 subscribers. That is a dream for a lot of people. But he is a celebrity. He also got media coverage when he announced he was doing this, and that went to a lot of news media, and they spread the word for him. Most of us, if we are going to give a press release to most media outlets out there, they're going to be like, yeah, whatever, and they're going to ignore it. Also, because Josh Gad is a celebrity, he can get high-profile guests. When he comes calling and asks for the cast of Cobra Kai or the cast of the Goonies to be on his channel, he's going to get a lot more attention than, say, who's this Captain Kyle guy who wants to get us on his channel? It's much easier for him as someone who's already in the business to get these guests. However, he hasn't published a video in 5 months, and I'm going to talk more about that. But let's look at John Krasinski. You might know him from A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2. Good actor. He started a channel called Some Good News, which the channel Some More News took umbrage with, which I can't blame them for. He started it on March 25th of last year. He's got 2.55 billion subscribers. Holy moly. I would love to have that many subscribers. Again, he's a celebrity. He's an actor. He's got a large following. He's got media coverage. He can get high-profile guests. His last video, he had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as his guest. I mean, it would be nice if I could get Mr. Johnson to be on my show, but yeah, he's not returning my calls. But again, he hasn't published in 5 months. Now, these celebrities, they've got other jobs that they have to do, other things. So let me show you what's happening now, because they did make a big splash. They did get a lot of attention, a lot of views at first, but in the last 30 days, Josh Gad has had 118,800 views, which, I mean, he hasn't published in 5 months, so he's kind of going down. Some good news, 397,336 in the last 30 days. Again, John Krasinski hasn't done anything in 5 months. And there was actually news that maybe he was selling the channel or selling the brand. I'm not sure exactly what's happening there, but yeah, absolutely. He does not have as many views as you'd think with 2.55 million subscribers. Just as a comparison, my channel, Fandom Spotlite, 37.4K subscribers, much less than either of these, in the last 30 days has gotten 231,302 views. And actually, we've been reducing a bit because of the change of weather, because people are going outside more. Our views have been decreasing, but that's what it is over the last 30 days. So we're in between these two channels that are high-profile celebrities. They have a lot more subscribers. These celebrities don't worry about when a celebrity makes a splash with a channel, because they're not necessarily dedicated to the platform. I was pretty mad when Josh Gad jumped on the scene and was like, I'm getting all this attention, and hey, I'm Olaf, and I'm going to have, you know, the cast of the Goonies and, you know, John Hughes movies and all this other stuff. And actually, his Goonies stuff, I had some Goonies content on mine. It kind of increased views for that a little bit. But I was like, oh, who's this guy? He just decides because he's a celebrity. He can start a channel and get so many subscribers. But really, he's not a YouTuber. He's not going to pay that much attention. A lot of people subscribed, but no one's watching anymore. He's not putting out new videos. John Krasinski, you know, he did it as a lark. And it can be irritating for those of us who've been on YouTube for a while and have been working very hard and building up our audiences over time to see these guys blow past us, but it's a flash in the pan. They're not going to significantly impact us or YouTube. All right. So that's those celebrities. Let's go on to the next myth. Sub for sub is a great way to grow. False. And I put that all in caps because that is a horrible way to grow. So if you're not familiar with the sub for sub thing, this is the practice of going up to people or talking to them online and saying, hey, I see you have a channel. I have a channel. You subscribe to mine, I'll subscribe to yours. First of all, doing that, how much growth are you going to get? How many people are you going to make deals with? 100? Are 100 subs really worth it? And it's actually against YouTube's terms of service. If you start doing a lot of sub for sub, even get 1,000 subscribers out of it, and they look at your growth and say, wow, they're growing very quickly, but they're not getting more views. And they look and see that all the channels that are subscribing to you, you're subscribing to them. They say, oh, sub for sub against our terms of service, and they wipe out your channel. You don't want that to happen. And yeah, if you get a sub from sub for sub, they're not going to watch your stuff. First of all, they're running the channels of their own, so I don't think they have that much time to watch your stuff. But they're just basically doing it to bolster their own channel. They don't care about yours. So you have a bunch of subs, and they're not going to watch anything, so you're not going to get watch time out of them. If you're trying to get monetized, you're not going to get monetized because of these subs. You may, hit your 1,000, but if you haven't hit your 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months, these subs aren't going to help you reach that. And they're not going to make any money because if they're not watching your stuff, that's what makes you money. That's why with these celebrities, yes, they have lots of subs, but they don't get paid by the sub. They get paid by the view, and other channels that have a much smaller subscription base get more views and more money. So sub for sub, they're not going to make any money. I wouldn't bother. And it's misrepresenting yourself. It's basically, it's giving your channel a bad rep. People who look at your channel and they're like, oh, wow, they have 20,000 subs, but they're getting like 10 views on each video. They're not going to be impressed. Now, sure, some people may just look at the sub count and not really do any in-depth looks. And so that they may turn around and say, oh, we're going to offer this guy a sponsorship. He's got a lot of subs. And then even if you get the sponsorship and go through with it, they're not going to give you another one because they're not going to see any results from that sponsorship because you're still getting 10 views, 20 views per video. Sub for sub is a horrible way to grow. It's against the YouTube terms of service. The best way to grow is to put out quality content. And you can ask people to subscribe at the end of your videos. I don't like too much at the beginning of your video unless it's real quick. You know, hey, welcome to the video. I'm going to be going over this. And if you like this video, please subscribe. But now to the point. If you do something quick like that, it's okay. I hate people who go on for like 30 seconds talking about how you should subscribe to their video at the beginning of the video and you haven't seen anything yet. At the end, I think is better. Yeah, so sub for sub, don't, please, don't. All right, next myth is that contests and giveaways will help you grow. False. This will not really help you grow at all. Now, if you do a giveaway, that's fine, or a contest. Contests are tough, and even giveaways, because you need to make sure that if it's a random drawing, you have to have like terms, and someone could potentially say, you know, it wasn't random, you know. So if you get big enough, you might have to deal with something like the lottery commission and stuff like that. But if you do a giveaway for your loyal viewers and say, hey, I want to thank everybody. I just reached 1,000 subscribers, and I have this action figure right here that I'm going to give to one random person in my subscriptions and, you know, send it out to them. That's fine. You know, or you could do a live stream and you could have, you know, whoever answers this question, out of whoever answers it correctly, I'm going to randomly choose someone. There's lots of ways to do giveaways. But does it really spur growth? Not really. Unless you're doing a giveaway every week and people come back to watch your videos because you're doing a giveaway every week. And if you got that kind of money, what are you doing on YouTube? And if you do a giveaway to reach a sub goal, it will give you more subs, but it's like the sub for sub. You're not going to get new viewers out of it. I did meet another YouTube channel. I won't mention their name, but I met them at a convention. And they were doing a lot to promote their channel, and they were having trouble reaching 1,000 subs. And they decided to give away this large lot of merchandise once they reached 1,000 subs to anyone who subscribed during that contest period. And they reached their goal, but they weren't getting any more views. It's like, yes, they got all these subs, but they still couldn't monetize because they didn't have the 4,000 hours watch time. So it may even be against the terms of service. I'm pretty sure it is. It's kind of like paying for subs, which is another practice. You can, if you see a place that says, hey, give us $100, we'll give you 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Don't do it. Again, you're not going to get views. It's not worth it. So don't do a giveaway to try to reach sub goals. If you really want to reward your viewers, give them good and better improving content instead. Give it to everybody and not just the contest winner. Contests and giveaways, everyone is like, oh, I just reached 100 subs. Should I do a giveaway? Why? You know, if you want to do that, that's fine. That's totally up to you. But one, it's only 100 subs. And even if it's 1,000 subs, it's only 1,000. You're just reaching the point where you can monetize. You know, if you really want to give back, you know, just give better content. Don't send out merchandise, and then you find out that the person who won is in another country, and it's going to cost you $37 to send them this $5 item. that they won and it's costing you money to give away stuff. Don't do that. All right. Next is that thumbnails are the most important thing with YouTube. And I'm going to say to that it's false-ish. They are important, but they're pretty useless if nobody sees your thumbnails. So how do you get people to see your thumbnails? You need good SEO. And the thumbnails is kind of like a movie poster. All right. You're walking by the theater and a really cool looking poster catches your eye and you look at it and you see all this cool stuff going on. And then you look at the title of the movie. That is also important. You have to have a great title. So if there's all this cool stuff going around and then they look down and it's called, how to make a crap sandwich, they might be like, that makes no sense to me, and they'll walk on. They're not going to necessarily want to watch that movie, or they're going to wait till it's on streaming. But if you have a great title, you see all this stuff happening, and then you look down and you see Star Wars Episode 10, Our Apologies. People are going to probably be like, we need to see that movie. A keyword-rich description. Why? Because if no one sees your really cool-looking thumbnail, they're not going to click on your video. So you want keywords, the more important keywords near the beginning of your description, but you want to use sentences. Just don't shove keywords in there. It's not a tag box. But have a keyword-rich description so that when people are searching for something, they will find it. If your channel is about gardening, you want to have things about gardening in your description. You want to, if you're talking about how to plant certain, like marigolds, then you want to have in your description, marigolds are a joy to have in your garden. And if you want to have marigolds in your garden, here's how you can plant them and water them and use special fertilizers to make them better. We just got a question, which I'm going to adjust from Tom Cav. I'll address that very shortly. But yeah, you want to make sure that you have those keyword-rich descriptions so that when people do a search, because a lot of people search on YouTube, your video will come up. They'll see your cool thumbnail among a whole bunch of mediocre ones, and they'll look at yours first. They'll look at your title, how to grow amazing marigolds, and they'll click on it, and they'll be in the video. And you want to have a quality video for them to like, so they'll watch more of it. Basically, though, if people aren't interested in the subject, if your video is on how to watch paint dry, it doesn't matter what your thumbnail looks like, it's not going to help. And the weird thing is generating views will get you more views. And that's kind of a catch-22. The more views you get, the more views you will get. But it kind of builds on each other. The more people who watch your video and the longer they watch it for, the more YouTube says, hey, we're going to push this out to other people. And if they see a good looking thumbnail, again, it is an important thing. And then they see a good title, they're more likely to click on yours, giving you more views and hopefully making it accelerate. But a video on YouTube is like a cake. There's lots of ingredients. You have your thumbnail, you have your title, you have your description, you have the video itself, you have the structure of the video. You have a lot of different ingredients, but if you get something wrong, the whole thing could be ruined. If you're making a cake and you use bad eggs, the cake's not going to be any good. If you make a cake and your frosting doesn't taste good and you put it on there, people are not going to want to do it. If you decorate it so it looks like an ugly cake, people are going to be like, I don't know that I want to eat that. But if you make it look beautiful, tastes great, it's very satisfying, people will want more cake. If your cake sucks, any part of it, they're not going to want more cake. All right. So before we get into words for the wise, we're going to address this. Tom Cav wants to know if it's good to use royalty-free music in your videos as background. I actually do that quite a bit. I think having a nice background music to kind of fill in the gaps and to just kind of, on a subconscious level, keep the person interested. Not bad at all. You don't want to have it too loud. I'd say about 30 decibels before where you're speaking, and play around with it. It really depends on the music that you're using. Make sure it's to the right tone. When I talk about Transformers on Toy Spotlight, I have some background music that sounds like Vince DiCola, who is a composer for Transformers, the movie, way back in 1986. And it sounds very similar, so it kind of gives that whole feel. So having background, behind your speech is great. And I like the fact that Tom said royalty-free music. There are lots of services where you can get music. YouTube has a free library of music where you might have to credit the person who created it, but you can put music into your video. You don't want to put music from a rock band, a rap artist. You don't want, even Weird Al's a great guy, but don't take his songs and put it in your video, because that's copywritten material. You'll get a copyright claim at the very least. You could potentially get a copyright strike. You don't want to mess with that. Royalty-free music. Now, there's sites that I use. The main one I use is Epidemic Sound. It's pretty low cost. You pay a monthly fee and you have access to their entire library of music, sound effects, and you can take that and put it into your video whichever way you want. There's also Storyblocks, which has audio blocks and video blocks, and they have music that if you have a subscription with them, you can use in your videos. And there might be some other services out there. Just make sure that you don't use music that you don't have permission to use. And I've even had situations, because I put out panels from various cons like Wizard World, and someone might be playing music leading up to the actual panel, and I've gotten dinged on that and had to do things to obscure the music. And obscuring the music is always fun, because then you could put music behind copywritten music to distort it so that it's not recognized. But it doesn't make it sound better. It's just to keep you from getting copywritten. But yes, royalty-free music in your videos as background behind your speaking, which obviously this video is a live stream. We don't have that. Maybe next time we'll actually have some background music. But yes, it's not necessary, but it is a good idea. I think it keeps people more engaged. It adds a little bit of something to your video. All right, so a few words to the wise. And this is my biggest thing when I see friends who have a YouTube channel and they're working very hard. They're putting out video after video after video, and I see that they're getting 2 views, 3 views, no views. And I'm like, and they've been doing it for years. If you're not growing, if you're not getting more views on your videos, if you're not getting more subscribers, if your channel is not on an upward trajectory and you're working, they do say persistence is key, but they also say that doing the same exact thing over and over again and expecting different results is a definition of insanity. Change something. Look at what you're doing. Maybe your thumbnails aren't very good. Maybe you're not marketing your videos. And when I say marketing, I mean share in appropriate book groups on Facebook. Have a Facebook page and share it on there, and hopefully get followers on there who will then go to the video. Have a Twitter account with your channel brand and tweet it out there. Get a whole bunch of Instagram, you can actually go on there. It's not going to give you a ton, but the more views you get, as I was saying before, the more views you can get. So maybe getting a few views up front generates a few more views. And that in turn generates a few more until you're actually getting hundreds and thousands, tens of thousands, and possibly millions of views on a video. But if you are looking at your channel, look at how many views you're getting. If you've been doing this for 5 years and you keep on putting videos out and you're getting 5 views per video, you need to change something up. You need to do something. You need to look at your analytics. And if you want to contact me, I'll be giving my Twitter. You can contact me through Twitter. We can even talk about you looking over your channel and doing a consultation for you. There are plenty of tutorial videos online, and you can learn some great techniques. There's Brian Johnson's, there's vidIQ, there's video influencers. They have plenty of videos on their channels. If you just do a search on how to grow on YouTube or how to get more views or how to get more subscribers, a lot of great advice is going to come up. Now, take it with a grain of salt. Look at the size of the channel that you're actually looking at. If they have 100 subscribers and they're trying to tell you how you could get 1 million subscribers, well, why don't you have 1 million subscribers if you're doing that? But if it's vidIQ, which is very reputable, Brian Johnson has a lot of good videos, and he's got a poodle to feed. There's video influencers. There's a lot of places and tutorial people online who will tell you how to grow. Thing about these tutorial videos is they are very general. They will give you some very general techniques on growing your channel because they can tell you how to generally attract people, but they can't tell you how to attract people who are into gaming necessarily, or into toy collecting, or into botany, or into stamp collecting, or if you're just trying to get like a video blog going, you know, and just talk about your life, or talk about parenthood, or talk about how to fix things around the house. Look at people in the niche that you want to grow in and see what they're doing. Don't copy them, but you want to look at what they're doing, and you want to look at who you want to appeal to. You wouldn't have on your channel, if you're trying to attract the handyman type people, you wouldn't necessarily start talking about design. It might be related, or you wouldn't necessarily talk about cooking on a channel where you're talking about carpentry and stuff like that. Just research your niche and your audience, and don't let someone tell you what your channel should be doing, because not all the channels will be getting the same amount of views, the same amount of subs. I have videos. I have, as I mentioned, 37,000 subs, which sounds great, but I have some videos that get 150 views after I put them out, because my channel is kind of a news channel slash, it has different people who come to my channel. And the thing that I realize about my main channel is people aren't coming to see me. They're coming to see a panel. They're coming to see maybe a reaction video. They're coming maybe to see a list of things or an interview with a celebrity. But they're not necessarily going to be loyal to my channel because of this. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to watch a panel on someone else's channel because it's not Fandom Spotlight. You know, they're looking for what they want to entertain them. They're looking for information. And so my channel isn't going to have the same amount of loyalty as someone who is a personality and they're doing things like gaming or, you know, reviewing certain things, and the whole channel is their personality. Mine's more news, so I might get more views with less subscribers. However, my toy channel, a lot of it is my personality, and that's almost to the point of being monetized, and it gets views that are a good amount for the number of subscribers. So the ratio is there. So for me, I could, with my 37,000 on Fandom Spotlight, have a video that does 800,000 views, And then the next day I could put one out that gets 200 views. Whereas Toy Spotlight is more, I have 977 subs. I put out a video and it will get 200 within a week or so views. So not all of my channels get the same type of views based on subs. So don't let someone say, oh, well, if you have 1,000 subs, you should be getting 500 views per video within the first 3 days. No. You could have a sub that is like how to fix things around the house. You may not get a ton of people subscribing, but you may get a ton of views because people's stuff breaks and people want to know how to fix it. And if you have a great thumbnail, a great title, great search results, people will come to your channel and watch how to fix things. But they don't have to fix things every week, so they're not necessarily going to subscribe to you. So don't worry about that. It really depends on the type of channel, on what you're trying to do. What is your aim? Are you educating? Are you entertaining? Are you doing a little of both? There's a lot of variation. So there is no one size fits all. Your channel needs to do this if you have this. That's all. That's a big YouTube myth right there. All right. So if you have any other questions, now's the time. I know I answered that one on the royalty-free music. Any further questions is great. And if not, then we will finish this up. If you think of something and you want to let me know, tweet to Captain Kyle PA with the hashtag YouTube myth and give me a myth that you've heard, something you've heard about YouTube that you want to know, is this true or not? And I will incorporate that into our next live stream, which will probably be, there will probably be one more, and that will be in about 2 weeks, I would say. We'll do it in 2 weeks. And yeah, so tweet to me. You can also tweet to me if you want to have me for like $20, go through your channel and tell you everything that you need to adjust to increase your growth. We can do that as well. That is the end of my presentation. I'm going to stop sharing that. So we are back here in Star Labs with my Optimus shirt. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to tweet at me, and we will see you next time. Like I said, in about 2 weeks. Be sure to visit wizardworld.com, check out their upcoming schedule, and also hopefully we'll be seeing you in person at cons very soon. This has been Captain Kyle. Thanks for watching, signing off, and have fun. Follow your fandom.